Hi!
Om Namah Shivaya.
How are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good. Are you now an LA resident?
Yes. It's official.
Yay! Congratulations.
Thank you.
You look like a California girl.
Thanks.
Hi everybody.
Hi, Dog.
Only 3 people today?
No, they're shy. I'm trying to get them to come in front of the camera. They're like out here. Let me show you. We got some people over here.
Oh,
Everybody's bringing in their food because we're having a big clean potluck afterwards.
Woo! Yay!
Wow, what a group of good-looking people.
Even
If
the
I-
really sweaty ones.
If I was single, I would move to Savannah.
Huh.
Aha.
Huh. All right. So these are the hardcore. These are the ones that have made it.
I love those pants.
I know.
They're in like Mother Mary situation.
Yeah, they're like stained glass.
Yeah, they are.
Oh.
So how is everybody doing?
Good.
Yeah? Can some of you share if there's a fantastic experience over there to hear about?
Sherry? Sherry, come up close. Okay, can we come back to you? Okay, so Sherry wants to share, but she just took my class, and it was totally hardcore. So she's going to wait and catch her breath. And then she's going to share. Who else wants to share? Share. Hey, Jessica, come on up. Come up.
Fancy pants.
I'm going to tell all my friends that you liked my leggings. This is just that way.
So, my experience, I completed my first year of college this year, and I've been a vegetarian for 5 years. So I ate like moderately healthy. I didn't eat really unhealthy foods most of the time. So I thought like I'm not really going to feel a big difference, but maybe I'll come off some medications, or maybe I'll figure out what's bothering me. And coming out of the second week into the third week, my mind just got really noticeably clear, and I'm off of my asthma medication, and I haven't needed it, and I've exercised every day, and I'm off my birth control, and I feel much more clear-headed, and I just feel really good, and I'm honestly kind of worried about going back to school because I'm like, I don't know if I can maintain this eating eating the cafeteria food, but I just want to say thank you because I feel so good. I feel so good, and I just approach things differently, and so it's just made a big difference.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. You know, one of the things that is kind of surprising is that vegetarians can feel better, right? Because usually the idea around is that vegetarians are much healthier than us, the sinners that eat meat every now and then. But what do you think made the difference? What things were you eating before that you did not eat during the program?
I was still eating gluten, and I can tell that gluten is a big thing that irritates my stomach and irritates me. I still cannot eat dairy. I'm lactose intolerant for sure. Sugar. I had the day I finished, my friend made me some like homemade baklava, and it was so good. But I had a headache immediately. Like I know that it was the sugar. It was just. I haven't added caffeine back. I'm a little afraid to. But definitely gluten and sugar are the big ones for me that I can tell.
Yeah, that's one of the things that because vegetarians are lacking the number of calories in meats, they compensate with lots of carbohydrates.
Right.
Not necessarily sugar, some sugar, but other forms of carbohydrates which actually rapidly convert to sugar in our blood. So that's one of the big things that makes a difference. And gluten, of course. Great.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. So happy for you. You look great. Yeah, well, we're going to be talking about about gluten and in general how to reintroduce things, and what does it mean now that you've finished your cleanse to go back out in the world, and tips on how to be able to maintain these things, right? Hi.
Hi, Dr. Younger. My name's Sherry. I started this program of yours because I was lucky enough to be told by another yoga student that I should read your book. And she knew that I was having a lot of problems with anxiety. And I did read your book. I read it 3 times before I signed up for the clean program. And I'm one of those people that was addicted to Diet Cokes, and I had coffee every morning. And I mean, no one that knows me can believe I've been 2 months now without a Diet Coke. But I also own a restaurant, and I have very good food there, and at least I used to think I did. But I have had a lot of temptation, but I'm really, really proud of myself that I've made it through the program. But the most important thing for me was on the elimination diet. After reading your book, I decided I needed to start the elimination diet right then. And I started it the next day, which would have been about 2 to 3 weeks before we started the 28-day deal. So my anxiety was physical. I mean, I had physical anxiety problems. And the elimination diet has completely taken that away. I haven't had any trouble with that at all. And I was at a point that I was just going to have some kind of help, And so I thank you very, very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm proud of you too. Now tell me, apart from the anxiety, did you have any other benefits that you noticed?
Oh, yes. Absolutely. I am. There's some things around my house that I've done that I've talked about doing for years that I've finally gotten done. There's some things, there's some, a lot more clear-headedness, the ability to get things done, has just been easy. Things are happening easier. What I want to get done in the day is happening easier for me. It's not drudgery. And the stress that comes up in my life now, I just deal with it. I haven't always had the anxiety problem. I was always the type of person that if you run a restaurant, you just deal with stress. You just know how to deal with it, and you actually maybe even enjoy it. And I would always be proud of myself for correcting things and fixing things. I was the one that always fixed everything. Now I'm back to fixing it with pleasure. If that makes sense.
Makes sense to me. Well, that sounds fantastic.
What you said in your book, the reason that you started, the reason you sought this program out, I know that you do relate. And I appreciate that.
My problem was not so much anxiety as it was depression.
Right.
But they're closely related. They're like cousins in a way,
Right.
because both of them stem from an imbalance in the production of neurotransmitters.
Yes.
And when I went to the psychiatrist, he told me that my brain was not producing enough serotonin. And he gave me a prescription. So obviously I wanted a second opinion. A second psychiatrist told me the same thing. And I said, well, how did my brain cells forget how to do their chemistry?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, well, we don't really know. It could be genetic, it could be this. But the thing is, you're not alone. It's an epidemic. But, it didn't really console me, the fact that we were all a bunch of depressed people on the planet. I didn't find solace in that, and I didn't think that the solution was, just taking pills for the rest of my life or for a long time. So that's when I went out and started searching, and I ended up finding out that most of the serotonin is not even produced in this brain, which was the one that he was referring to. It's produced in this brain.
Yeah.
We have
That's
a
what hit home with me so much. That's why your book made so much sense to me. It was something I had never heard, but the way you explained it in the book, I just could comprehend it so easily. It just makes perfect sense. But I went back and read it several times to make sure it really did make that much sense. And I'm just telling you, it really does. It makes sense. And I think that there are women out there that are in their 50s that are not having the quality of life. I think it's just sad. I just would like to shout it from the rooftop. There are women that are going to doctors and getting put on Xanax. Thousands of women every day.
not only women.
And men and women, yeah. And I just think that it's a sad thing, and I hope that the word gets out more and more, and help more and more people.
We're working hard on it.
Yeah, I can cover your website. Congratulations on that too. It's superb.
Thank you. Well, congratulations on your results, and thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? I could sit here all day, all week, and hear your stories because this is really kind of what I live for. But if there's nobody else, we can jump into.
One more. Jessica said she's got some questions for you. I don't know if it's a success story, but
Well, it's successful, but then there's some problems. Okay, so I've had a lot of success, and it felt really good, and I've been really clear. My stress level's gone down, and my skin's cleared up, and I've gone down inches, but I'm still having problems pooping.
And you want to talk about it in front of everybody?
Let me tell you, it's been awful. I drink almost 4+ liters of water a day. I don't know if it's the protein powder that I'm using. I've been eating all clean stuff. This morning had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and drink salt water to just flush me out. It's been pretty rough. That's the only negative part because beforehand.
So hold on. You're talking about constipation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Big time.
Okay. And it hasn't gotten better throughout the 3 weeks?
No, and I've been doing the natural calm. I've tried the smooth move. And see, beforehand I had no problems. And then when I started it, that's when I just not been able to go.
So you were not constipated before,
right?
But you did get constipated during,
Right.
And what was the problem with your skin?
I just had a little bit of acne or stuff on my neck and my chest, and that's cleared up. So I was happy with that.
And what else improved?
My mood. I had some weight loss. What else? A lot of stuff improved. My general well-being. But just the whole constipation problem was the only negative side, and I don't know what the problem is. I was using a rice protein powder, and I was taking fiber with it as well. But I was drinking a lot of water.
What kind of fiber was it?
It was. I don't remember. It was Cleanse Smart or something. I got it from the health store here.
Was it psyllium?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure. And did you stop that?
Today was the first day that I stopped using that, but I also drank salt water this morning, which flushed me out.
What happens sometimes, and it's not a frequent thing that people get constipated throughout the 3 weeks. It is a frequent thing that people get constipated throughout the first week or so. Mm-hmm. And the reason why is because things start changing. The intestines now start dumping or trying to dump the mucus that the body had accumulated, and the mucus is sticky. So sometimes it just sticks to the wall of the intestines, and it makes it hard for people to eliminate. And those are the cases in which I recommend people to have colonic but
There's a place here that does it.
Oh,
So-
great.
sounds like
Tomorrow.
sounds like it scares you or something.
A little bit.
Yeah. Have you ever tried enemas? No. Okay. Well, the thing is, if anything, that makes me think that you actually really needed it, right? Are you going to the bathroom at least once a day? Or
Yes, with help.
with help? Okay. All right. So what's going to be interesting for you is now after the cleanse, during the reintroduction phase, to see where you're standing and how you evolve and you know how this problem evolves. And we'll be available to guide you through any difficulties that you have.
Okay.
And you know, there's things to be considered. Like for example, some people end up being constipated because of parasites, right? It doesn't really ring that like this is your case, because if that's the case, skin gets worse and not better.
Right.
So, and people also get bloated and gassy. Is that happening to you?
I've had a little bit of gas issues, but not and some bloating when I can't go to the bathroom.
Right. You feel full.
Right. Pull up.
Yeah, okay. All right. Listen, this is not something that we're going to be able to figure out in the context of this conversation. But we will be available to help you through if this issue doesn't correct itself after finishing and getting done with the reintroduction phase.
Okay.
Yeah. But you know, I'm not sure what to tell you. But the thing that comes into my mind is that you probably really needed it, and you know, your body's kind of lagging behind, and I would definitely continue with the elimination diet for a little longer,
Okay.
and to give your body a chance to really fully readjust and start eliminating by itself without the need of any help.
Okay.
Because
I
it
did
doesn't
for 28 days.
it doesn't make sense that before you didn't have a problem, and now that you switch to what seems that your body likes as a better diet because of the of your weight loss and your skin improvement, it doesn't make sense that now it would fall into this problem. Do you see what I mean?
Right. Absolutely. That's why I was a little baffled.
Yeah. And don't feel baffled. Some bodies need a little longer time to adjust, and you may just be one of them.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I would also stop using the Cleanse Smart
Okay.
for a while. So just to see, some people react really poorly to certain kinds of fiber, and it can really, even with lots of water, just for whatever reason. So just keep that out for a little while and just have a really fiber-rich diet and stay on the elimination diet for a while. And
Actually, some of these commercial fibers around and lots of water make it even worse. Make it like a cork, because the fiber absorbs the water and just blocks everything up. So that's a high likely possibility that once you stop this fiber and you continue the elimination diet for a few days, things will correct by themselves.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for sharing.
All right. So one of the main thing that we want to talk about in this meeting tonight is the reintroduction process. I got one specific question from Sherry to make sure you address. We don't have to start with this, but she wanted to know if we should continue with the probiotics as we come off the formal elimination that we've been doing.
Okay. So the reintroduction phase of your program is as important as the program itself, and especially if you experienced improvement in whatever area. If your skin got better, if your mind is clear, if your mood is more stable, if you lost some weight, if you're sleeping better, anything that your body feels better about, it has two reasons to be. One of them is the detoxification aspect, getting rid of toxins and getting rid of the mucus and the fat that the body generates to defend itself from the toxins. But a major part of it is having stopped eating what I call the toxic trigger foods. You know, there are certain foods that act as biological tax. And the reason I call them tax is because Dr. Baker, in his book Health and Detoxification, says that if you're sitting on a tack, it would take a lot of aspirin to kill the pain. It is better to remove the tack. If you're sitting on 3 tacks, it won't help much removing only 1 tack. You're going to have to remove the 3 tacks in order to stop the pain. Now, there are foods that to our body act as biological tax. They irritate the body, they trigger survival and adaptation mechanisms that the body needs to put in motion and spend energy on, and taking away from other aspects of the body that need that energy. And these biological tax are in general the foods that we ask you to stop during the program, the foods on the elimination diet. And not all these foods affect everybody. Some people get affected by some things, other people get affected by other things, or combinations. And for every one of us, it's a little bit different, or a lot different. So now that each one of you stopped all the foods, you now have the opportunity to find out which ones are the foods that you should be avoiding in order to continue experiencing the benefits that you're experiencing right now. Is this clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
So in a way, sometimes I compare it when you live in an apartment and you're not that clean, and your walls start getting dirty, week by week, month by month, year by year. There's a point in which you don't even notice the dirt. Yeah, it's uncomfortable, it doesn't feel good, but it's not like drastic that you notice, in a drastic way. But if you were to come and really scrub the walls and clean it up, and then have a blank slate, and then you can, like, for example, you can really notice a stain of oil or something that before you wouldn't have noticed so much, but now that the walls are clean, you will notice. And this is what's happening with the foods. Like when you, smarty pants, ate the baklava and you had a headache. Maybe before you wouldn't have had such a reaction. With a baklava you wouldn't have had a headache. But that's because your body kind of entered a state of tolerance, after years and years of eating certain things. The body adapts and tries to survive, which is the only thing the body knows what to do. But once you stop all those things, then a little stain on the wall will be very evident. So the reintroduction phase is the real opportunity for you to find out which foods are these foods for you specifically. So this is very important. And for reintroduction to really show you the data that you need, you have to do it right. So I'm going to let Jesse kind of tell you in summary how the reintroduction phase has to be done correctly, and then we'll open up for specific questions and answers.
Cool. Thanks, Doc. So the reintroduction phase or process is really simple. Basically, you just want to try to isolate foods as much as possible so that you can get a really clear idea of how that food affects you. A lot of times, when people come off the cleanse, they're like really excited, and I think we talked about this a little bit last time, like they have a food that they really, really miss, like pizza. So they're like, the first day after, oh my gosh, I'm just craving pizza, I want to eat this. And then they eat it, and then a lot of times they feel really horrible, but they then can't isolate which of those toxic triggers cause that, because pizza has gluten, nightshades, dairy, and then, who knows what else is on there. So in order to avoid that, you really want to try to isolate the food as much as possible so that you get a very clear idea of how your body reacts to that food. So as opposed to having something like pizza, you could start with something really simple like a little bit of milk or a little bit of cheese. And if we're talking about dairy, we definitely want to make sure that we're getting really good quality, organic, no hormones, all of that. And then you want to take whatever food it is that you choose, tomatoes, and you're just going to isolate that, have it like 2 times in the first 24 hours, and then you're not going to have it again for another 24 hours. So basically, I feel like I'm making this a little bit complicated, sorry. You're going to take 2 days for each food. The first day you test it, then you wait 12 to 24 hours, see how you react, and then you can retest it to get a really good feeling of how that goes. Then after you're clear on that, then you can reintroduce the next isolated food and take another 48 hours for that food. We tend to say that after a cleanse, you're going to be able to really adequately test 2 to 3 foods, unless you're just really, really super dedicated and want to take, 2 weeks to test all those foods, which is really cool if you want to take the time to do that. But most of the time, people aren't that patient.
Yeah, and the reason why we wait after we reintroduce one item is because food reactions, and I'm not calling them food allergies, because not all reactions to food are of the allergic type. Foods can do things like acidify your blood, be mucus forming, and cause all other types of intolerances than just the mechanism, the allergy mechanism. So food reactions may, and food allergies included, may take 12, 24, and sometimes 48 hours to appear. And that's why that's why it's important to reintroduce the food, and that food as isolated as possible without mixing it with other things, and then wait for 24 hours and see how you feel. And not only how you feel immediately after, but how you feel during the whole 24 hours. And notice how you sleep, how your moods were, if you dream. Some people, the reactions to certain foods are as subtle as just having a nightmare or having a bad dream or not being able to sleep as sound. And for some people, it's as drastic as breaking out in hives or having severe headaches or even nausea or all kinds of things. So you have to be like an investigator, like a private investigator, and really actually even take note and see how you feel, how your energy levels were, how your mood was, right? Now, if you want to be really, really thorough, after the waiting period, you reintroduce the same food again, and you do the whole process again. Now, that's if you really want to be serious, not serious, but detailed. Now, if you don't have much time, then you just do that, and then the next day you follow with the next item, and like that you do it until you choose your 2 or 3 most missed items from the elimination diet, and you do it until you discover. Now, for those who want to be really thorough as well, one thing is when you do it with isolated stuff, but after you do it with isolated items, you can do it again with mixed items, like a pizza and things like that, because sometimes you will not react to one of the toxic trigger foods, but you will react to 2 or 3 of them together. Is this clear? So the reintroduction phase, if done with commitment and organization, can reveal things that can, which knowledge can last for the rest of your life and will actually really give you an edge in how you feel and sometimes even how long you live. Any questions? Yes.
Hey, I'm Wendy, and I'm one of the over 50 folks. And I've been on the cleanse for 28 days today, with a couple of tough weekends where I had to travel. I did pretty darn good. But on one of those weekends, as a family tradition is drink a glass of wine, I did. Prior to that, I was feeling much more energy and a lot of calm. And I actually am not taking the cocktail that my obstetrician has given me for, I guess, menopause, which would be the patch with a happy pill, a low-dose happy pill. So I have been off of that for 3 weeks, and I'm not having hot flashes. Except the night after I drank that glass of wine. And I'm terrified. Does that mean I can't have wine for the rest of my life? I mean, what does that mean?
Well, it definitely means that alcohol is one of your toxic triggers, right? And you know, I don't want to be.
Or sugar?
I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. I don't know what you had that dinner, but you have to think through and see, because you probably mixed a few things, not only the alcohol. So it's going to be important for you to, you know, when you figure out what it is that you ate, that you break them down and that you try them isolated and see what happens.
Wine. I was a good girl otherwise.
Okay, so you know, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news for you, but it may well be that alcohol is what is confusing your body and causing the hot flashes and whatnot. And it may well be that until you finish your whole phase of menopause, you're going to greatly benefit from staying away from it, you know?
Okay. I appreciate that.
So listen, I'm happy. I'm happy that
Dr. Younger?
I'm happy that I hold on.
We can't hear you. Hold on.
Hello? Can you hear
now
me?
I can hear you. Sorry.
Well, I'm just happy that I didn't promise you that everything that you're gonna find would be amazing. You know, some of the things that you're gonna find are not gonna be that pleasant. Like, you know, you're gonna have to stop maybe consuming some of the things that you really, really, really like. Next question.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's go back to the probiotics question.
Yes.
Should people continue with the probiotics after they're off the program?
Okay. One of the most important things for health is the state of our intestines. Just like one of the most important things for a plant health is the state of its root, right? And of course the soil, which is our food. So provided that your intestines are healthy and the soil is good, your leaves, your skin, your hair, your mind, your organs, which is like the fruits of the plant, are going to be great. So how do we keep our intestines healthy? Well, one of the really important aspects of a healthy intestine is a healthy intestinal flora. And the toxic chemicals that we are exposed to in our daily life, if we live in modern cities and sometimes in rural areas as well, is that they kill the good bacteria. Just as simple as, you know, city supplied water, which is full of chlorine, and this is something you can Google and see. You know, when you take a shower, this chlorine is going into your bloodstream and it'll end up in your intestines and it will end up killing some of your intestinal flora. So modern living is dangerous and actually deadly for our intestinal flora. And we will definitely benefit from keeping a healthy intestinal flora. Now, how do we do that? In two ways. One of them is always throwing in more troops, always throwing in more bacteria so they can colonize your intestines and occupy the real estate there. And the second thing is feeding them well with probiotics. That means fiber and things like that. So those are the two ways that we would maximize our chances of keeping our intestinal flora happy and thriving. So yes, a good probiotic supplementation is probably going to benefit most of us for the rest of our lives. So, what are the downsides of taking probiotics? The price and just the commitment of having to take something every day. But if you're fine with those, I say yeah, take them for the rest of your life.
Are you guys just hungry?
Do the thing twice in 24 hours and then wait 24 hours. Once or twice in 24 hours, then wait 24 hours.
Yeah. There's just a clarification. When you do the reintroduction, the food that you're introducing, you eat it once or twice in the first 24 hours, and then you wait 24 hours.
Yeah.
And then you start testing a second food, or you do the same one again.
Yes, exactly.
On the third day, you would start a second one, or do the same food again.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if you didn't like the results of your wine test, on day 3, you can have it again and see if you were right or wrong.
Yes.
And just a note on introducing foods. You might react to one kind of wine and not to another. You might react to one kind of cheese, like you might react to cow cheese, but not to goat or sheep's cheese. So that's something to keep in mind too. Just being really careful and aware of what you're eating in the next couple of weeks. As for the wine, sometimes sulfite-free organic red wines tend to be a little bit easier. But it may be that you're out of luck, but that could be something you wanted to try on occasion.
Yeah, that is an important point. You may be reacting badly to the sulfites in wine and not to the wine itself. So if you try organic sulfite-free wine. And by the way, just to show you that I put my money where my mouth is. I just got a UPS shipment of some probiotics.
One last, I just want to say something awesome. Yeah.
And by the way, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
By the way, the company that I'm trying probiotics from now is called Natural Choice Products, NCP, and they also have amazing enzymes, which sometimes are important when I'm now only learning about this, but I've had experiences, a few experiences with people that taking enzymes, especially from this company, has accelerated their healing process. So probiotic and enzymes from this company, Natural Choice Products, try them out. They're really, really good.
Natural Choice Products.
NCP.
NCP. Okay, Jesse, you wanted to know about how to eat in the next school?
Yeah, I have. I'm really on this. But I can't eat dairy.
We can't hear.
So Jessica's asking for some general advice on when she gets back to school. She has to be on the cafeteria plan. What's some good advice for her on how to try and eat healthy when she really is sort of forced into basically a restaurant situation every day?
That's a tough one. Because you can't control what ingredients they use. You can't really ask them or even know if they're using organic products or not. It's a tough one. Jesse, any ideas?
I mean, generally when I work with people who travel a lot or put in situations where they don't have a ton of control, it's just, you just try to do the best with what you do have available to you. Most places are, I ate at the cafeteria food at UGA for a couple of years, and so I remember very clearly what the options were like, but definitely a salad bar. I know it's hard to eat salad every day. It gets super boring, but having a salad regularly, and then if you can get things, steamed or roasted veggies, usually there's some kind of option in there. Hopefully it's not a casserole. And just trying to make the best. Do you? I know you're vegetarian. Do you eat fish at all, or is that no?
So I really
I'm pretty adamant about it.
a really important thing for you would be, and it would be a great investment. It's going to cost you a little extra, but to have your breakfast not in the cafeteria, but wherever you're living, right? So you get a blender, get a good protein powder, and have a smoothie every morning. In that and also some multivitamins and maybe some fish oils. We have a whole recommendation in the book and in our website for how to keep it clean. We have a whole keep it clean manifesto. We can make sure that you have it. I mean, it's in our website. It's available to anybody. But your breakfast would be something that would be really important for you, because you can get a lot of the nutrients that you need throughout the day in one shake in the morning, and then go and ruin it in the cafeteria.
Well, and if
So I'll offer some advice to you too. When I was in college, we weren't really allowed to have hot plate, but a rice cooker just plugs in, and it's kind of stealthy. And you can cook brown rice, quinoa. You can cook lots of those whole grains that are legal in a rice cooker.
Yeah,
and you might be able to get in under the rules of that.
And I have really good friends who have apartments, and would be more than willing once or twice a week to let me come over and put in the kitchen and keep stuff in a secret mini fridge in my room. It's just I'm just scared because I feel so good, and I know that I'm going to get back, and there's probably no way I can even eat gluten-free. I feel bad having to pay $25 a day for food that I don't really want to eat, but I don't have a choice, and I just,
Yeah, but what do you feel? But you say you feel bad. You say you feel bad having to pay $25 a day, but do you feel worse paying $25 a day for food, or eating the food that's going to not make you feel good? You know what I mean? But listen, when there's a will, there's a way. I remember that when I was in the hospital, I actually made really good friends with the people that run the cafeteria, and that the cook there, and I would ask them to make special stuff for me, and they did. So if you're just nice to them and you schmooze them up, you can actually get things that you wouldn't even think possible right now. So be creative, think out of the box, and when there's a will, there's a way. You'll make it happen.
Thank you. All right. Well, we have a table full of food over here, and I think it's calling people's names. Any last questions? Yeah, well, the last thing was Kim requested that, Jesse, if you could put the probiotic information on Facebook.
Sure.
Just to make sure we get it exactly right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the enzyme that comes from that company. Okay. Well, we are so grateful for the time that you guys have spent with us and helped us through this amazing process. It's inspiring for me every time I come in the studio and I see the smiling faces of everybody doing this and how much it's changing people's lives. This is our third round, and the enthusiasm is still completely overwhelmed me every time I see it.
Well, let me tell you something, Kate. You inspire us because for now 2 years you've been doing this, and you've actually changed a lot of people's lives, and it's amazing to me, the commitment that you have and the details that you're supervising and just the good spirit that you provide to all of them, and I think it's a great part of why these group cleanses have been such a success. So thank you so much.
So I guess what I have to say about that is, having experienced it myself, I feel obligated, like I'm an ambassador for health, to tell people about how they can make a change and take control of their own health. And I hope that everybody in this program, like I know I heard that from Sherry and other people, like she wants to shout it on the rooftops. If every single one of us does that, then it ripples huge. And I know, like beyond this room, there are people all over Savannah that are doing the program that just aren't as a part of this room doing it because you've been talking to people. And we just need to keep spreading the word and just let it go bigger and bigger. And
it's kind of inevitable. When you feel better and you look better, even if you don't tell anybody, people are going to ask you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for everything, and I look forward to the next one.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be in January, so we'll be in touch. And you're, as always, invited to come visit us in our beautiful city.
It will happen as soon as look, I'm going to show you why I haven't been going. Hold on.
Oh my goodness.
Hold on. Hold on. I'll show you one more.
Judah, say hi.
Oh my gosh.
These are clean babies.
They are beautiful.
Yeah. And my wife and I are writing a book on how to have clean babies and clean pregnancies. And clean deliveries, because it's incredible when you take a look at certain things. We had the baby at home with the only doctor in the room was myself, only a doula present with us, and the whole birth from contraction started to actually me having the baby in my hands was 47 minutes.
Wow.
With no ripping, with no complications, I mean, of course it took us months and months to prepare to get to that spot, no? But there's such a big issue these days with pregnancies and deliveries. We treat it like a disease. We do it in hospitals. You know, we put women in the wrong positions to give birth, and we load them with chemicals. So we're gonna start spreading the word on that too. All right. Bye, everybody.
Young ambassadors. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.